Hey, how's it going, guys? Ancient Rune here, back with another Borderlands 3 video, and today I'll be going over all of the stat sticks in Borderlands 3. Now, stat sticks are very important because they are used to boost your non-gun damage. This is if you're not dealing damage and shooting with your gun, you're going to hold these guns to enhance your build. Just very easy damage increase. If you find this video helpful, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more Borderlands content, and I hope you guys enjoy. First off, we have the Guardian Angel. This is like the generalist stat stick that just kind of boosts everything very easily. It grants up to 500% V2 or conditional damage based off of how far away you are from the enemy. The distance is pretty much, if you're at the Jack statue in Sanctuary, you go to the back of the wall, and that's around the maximum distance. And this can also roll with a melee blade, so it's good for everything from melee like Stinger, Fish Slap. It is also really good for dots, Unleash Dragon action skills like Mantis Cannon, Sentinel. It is good with all of Amara's action skills that deal damage. It is really good with Rack Attack, and technically will boost the explosion from Gamma Burst, but that isn't noticeable or worth it. It does nothing with Iron Bear, unfortunately. But if you want to boost damage, this is it. You can also do stuff like Static Charger, other slam stuff, Nova Shields. You can use this, like Frozen Heart's a popular one. There's Spike Shields, just a bunch of shield stuff. You can use this for grenades, and it all does incredibly well. If you want to boost damage, Guardian Angel is easiest. It's not always the best, but it is definitely the easiest way to apply damage. The Psychostabber is insane for melee damage. It has a 120% blade plus a 100% pure molt melee damage. Now it says 340% melee damage on the card, but it actually isn't that. It's just with how it was buffed. When they buff the blade, it's weird damage formula stuff, and that's what makes it so good. Paired with the 150/90 anointment, it beats the Guardian Angel for melee stuff if the enemy is above 90% health. So during mobbing, you've got this going with like a Fish Slap and Stinger, or just regular melee. This will go nuts. This is also really good if you want to use Amara's Phase Flare. You can use this and like punch it, and then you can swap to a Guardian Angel for the maximum damage, and it is just really good. And then with the Psychostabber, you can also, with melee, with Unleash the Dragon, which is a dot you can throw with 150/90 anoint with a Psychostabber, like a Fish Slap, throw it or punch, and then it will apply a dot based off that, and then you can swap to a Guardian Angel for the maximum damage. And then you have the Unforgiven. This can have up to 432% card crit, and card crit is molt with other crit damage. So if something can crit, this is really good. With the Mantis Cannon damage anoint, which is V2 damage and conditional damage, which is the same as Guardian Angel, this beats Mantis Cannon pure damage, not counting dots by Arm and Flint. But pure Mantis damage, Unforgiven beats it. You can also use stuff like the Spark Plug, certain grenades that can crit. This is really good with it. It's just insanely good. If you can crit with something, you can benefit from this. Now with Mantis Cannon and Arm and Flint, ideally you'd want to do Unforgiven with holding it, shooting it, and then swapping to the Guardian Angel. And then the Zeps's Eruption is kind of overlooked, and I now use it more of utility, but it still can be used as stat stick if you don't have certain weapons like the Guardian Angel unlocked. So this is really good for no DLC or Season Pass 1 only builds, or just in general for boosting damage as much as possible. The Zeps's Eruption on reload spawns homing orbs that deal gear debuff up to, I think, 200%, and it is insane. You can use, like on Zane, you can use the Sentinel command, and it will refresh the homing orbs and go after enemies again. Otherwise, if you try and make a melee cancel, it'll go after other enemies, but not the same enemy it's already debuffed. If you swap away from the weapon and swap back, that'll also home after the same enemies. So it's usually like swapping a bunch. This is just really good stat stick, as it's really good debuff. This is additive with damage stuff like its Piss Grenade and also the Servo Execute gun, the GTR pistol. And it can come in elements. You could have radiation stuff and try and get somewhat of a decent rad explosion, or just have it a radiation because seeing rad explosions is just really cool. And then we have the Dark Army. The Dark Army is really good for Iron Bear as the drones stay active while Iron Bear is active. So you'll be an Iron Bear and it will be shooting up above over at enemies' crit spots, and if it applies a crit and you have experimental munition skill, it will apply a fire bonus element and potentially apply a fire status effect. This will allow you to apply skills such as biofuel, limit break, and running on fumes. This status effect is just really good to have. Now with the Dark Army, you don't have to have any element. The element does not matter at all, and because of this is that it normally just shoots normal non-elemental bullets and only does the element of the gun if you empty mag reload, and you can't do that in the Iron Bear, so you just go with any Dark Army with the anointment you want to match the Iron Bear weapon, and you're good to go. Now something that is kind of older but still very relevant is the Wyvern. This is a non-unique purple pistol. This can roll a 160% melee blade that is additive with other melee damage, as well as ASC slash anointment, which is crazy. Having slash and melee on a single gun is huge. This would used to beat the Psychostabber if you went over or under 90% health before the Guardian Angel came back, and this is still really good, especially if you don't have the Guardian Angel available to you. The Wyvern is great. You just get this from a world drop and you're good to go. The element doesn't matter on it. You just need the 160% blade, and then you can just reroll to ASC Splash, having two really good damage bonuses. You'd usually, if you're Amara, you can get in your skill tree, and Moze, but Moze doesn't really use it as much. But really Flak gains a lot from this, as he doesn't have any melee damage or splash damage in his skill tree and has to get them from passives, and passive farms on your class mod and artifacts can suck, so getting those boosts really easy is really awesome. Alright, and then something you're definitely not expecting is the Ion Cannon. The Ion Cannon is a launcher from DLC 1, which is used to boost the Nimbus Cloud. The Nimbus Cloud's from the Nimbus class mod for Amara, which can do some decent damage, and usually you have to swap to a Guardian Angel after, but this is still stat stick for applying that damage. You basically just need a really high dot damage, which the Ion Cannon does, and then you want it as non-elemental, as base damage and element damage are tied together, and you're not dealing direct damage with the Ion Cannon, but with the Nimbus Cloud, which will just take the hidden dot damage and put it into the Nimbus Cloud with the element that you're attuned to. So you have that going, and there are other guns you can use with high dot damage or high hidden dot damage that will work very well with the Nimbus Cloud. And I will link the build that uses this, Amara.com, on amarabuilds.com. It'll be in the description down below. And then finally we have the Blade Fury. Blade Fury, like the Psychostabber, has a hidden molt of 30%. It says it on the blade, and it's actually a melee molt like Psychostabber's 100% melee molt. So you can use this and hold it as well as shooting it, and so you have a good damage boost for other melee stuff like the Fish Slap and the Stinger, while also shooting the Blade Fury, just to kind of boost a lot of stuff. So it's kind of less stat sticky and also more with shooting, but it still helps your build even if you're not shooting it. That is it for the video. Let me know if you think I missed anything. I will be doing a video on utility guns and maybe a separate thing on other utility items. These are stuff you don't really hold and you kind of just swap to really quick and will swap back. So it's not really a stat stick in my opinion, and just a utility item. So make sure to subscribe if you want to see that video coming in the next few weeks. And I will see you guys next time. Peace.